In a bustling Nigeria city, there was a market so large that it seems to stretch forever. Among the rows of colorful stores and noisy traders was something unique: the famous row of public toilets. These toilets were owned by different people, and those in the market paid a small fee to use them. Among all the owners, one man stood out like a shining star. His name was Pa Simon. Pa Simon was the chairman of the Public Toilet Owners Association, a man both rich and respected. His toilet was the most popular in the market, and it wasn't hard to see why. It was always sparkling clean, with running water at all times, even when the whole neighborhood lacked power to pump water. Pa Simon would fire up his generator to keep things running smoothly. Pa Simon was also known for treating his workers well. They worked in shifts, morning, afternoon and night, and he always paid them on time. Surprisingly, despite all these luxuries, his toilet had the cheapest fees. People from all over the market lined up to use it, yet for some reason, Pa Simon refused to let his fellow community members use his toilet, no matter how desperate they were. Though his success made him famous, not everyone was happy. Some of other toilet owners whispered among themselves, saying Pa Simon's wealth didn't come from his toilet business alone. After all, they said, wasn't he once poorer than a church mouse? Didn't he borrow money to build his toilet? They wondered how he had become richer than a bank manager. Life was good for Pa Simon until one fateful day. Government officials came to the market with shocking news. A railway line was going to be built through the market, and many shops and toilets would have to go. Pa Simon's beloved toilet was in the path of the railway. The news hit him like a thunderbolt. He fainted and had to be rushed to the hospital. Rumors spread quickly. Some pitied him, saying his only source of income was being destroyed. Others scoffed, saying he was rich enough to start fresh elsewhere. While others packed up and relocated, Pa Simon desperately visited politicians, hoping to save his toilet. Honorable Okeke, a prominent political figure, shared a long-standing friendship with Pa Simon, a man of great influence in his own right. Years ago, Pa Simon had been instrumental in funding Okeke's campaign when he was vying for the position of Minister of Works. Their bond, formed in the heat of political battles, was one of the mutual respect and understanding. One bright afternoon, Pa Simon made his way to Okeke's office, a place of both power and prestige. The purpose of his visit, a matter close to his heart, the looming threat of government railway construction, potentially demolishing his toilet building. Pa Simon, though a man of humility, needed help, and Okeke was one he trusted to navigate the political labyrinth. As Pa Simon entered the office, he was warmly received by Okeke, who honored their friendship with graciousness. The two men exchanged pleasantries before Pa Simon spoke of his dilemma. He asked for Okeke's intervention to stop the government from tampering with his property. However, the reply he received was not reassuring as he had hoped. Okeke, though kind in his manner, spoke with a touch of realism. It will be difficult, he admitted candidly. The government has its own plans, and it's hard to sway them, but I will do what I can. His words, though not entirely promising, were said with sincerity. Pa Simon, though disheartened by the response, left Okeke's office with a prayer in his heart, hoping that something might be done to protect his precious building. But that was not Pa Simon's only hope. He had one more plan, one more person to turn to. In the heart of the community was the youth leader, known for his outspoken nature and rugged determination. Pa Simon knew this man well, and he was sure that with the right push, the youth leader could make things happen. So, Pa Simon made his move, offering a handsome sum of money to the leader, hoping that his influence and tenacity could save the building. The youth leader, confident and bold, accepted the challenge with unwavering resolve. Don't worry, Pa Simon, I will make sure it doesn't get demolished. I will see to it that your property is safe, he promised. With that, Pa Simon left the youth leader's presence with renewed hope in his heart, certain that this time things would work out in his favor. The fate of the toilet building hung in the balance, but Pa Simon, over the optimist, could only wait and see what would unfold. All his efforts were in vain. One day, the government bulldozers arrived and reduced his prized toilet to rubble. But Simon was heartbroken. He fell ill and ended up in the hospital. But as the days went by, something strange happened. During the railway construction, a massive python slithered out from the ground where Pa Simon's toilet had stood. The workers and traders ran in every direction. Terrified, some brave youth tried to catch the snake, but it vanished as quickly as it had appeared. The strange event stirred the entire community. Angry to Pa Simon's house, demanding answers. The elder stepped in to calm the crowd, and they urged Pa Simon to explain. With tears streaming down his face, Pa Simon agreed to speak to everyone. In a trembling voice, Pa Simon revealed a shocking secret. Years ago, when he was drowning in poverty, Pa Simon once lived in a small, leaking room he rented behind a carpenter's workshop. One day, the landlord sent him a stern message: pay up or move out. With no other option, Simon walked into the carpenter's shop, swallowing his pride. John, please, he began hesitantly. I need a small loan to cover my rent. I will repay you as soon as I can. Master John looked at him with pity and said, Simon, I know you are hardworking, but my hands are tied. Business is tough these days. Simon left, his head low, only to overhear workers whispering as he walked away. Poor Simon again. Will he ever stop begging for help? He clenched his fist, ashamed but helpless. Another occasion was when Pa Simon was unable to provide medical solution for his sick daughter. One fateful evening, Simon's young daughter fell ill with a fever. Desperate, he carried her to the nearest pharmacy. Please, I need medicine for her, he said, holding out the few crumbled naira notes he had. The pharmacist glanced at the money, shook his head, and replied, this won't even cover half the cost. Simon begged, I will come back with the rest, please. She's burning up. But the pharmacist refused, adding, I can't run a charity, sir. Simon left, calling his daughter, tears streaming down his face as he whispered prayers under his breath, hoping she would push through. But Simon, at some other time, when he was hungry, would pick plants to sell in order to feed himself. Market day was bustling, and Simon decided to try his luck, selling firewood. He borrowed a wheelbarrow and loaded it with sticks he had painstakingly gathered the night before. But as he pushed through the crowd, he saw no one interested. People preferred larger bundles sold by others. Hours passed, and Simon's throat dried from the heat. At the end of the day, he had sold nothing. On his way home, he passed a food vendor frying akara, bean cakes. The aroma made his stomach churn, but when he felt his pocket, it was empty. Simon sighed, maybe tomorrow would be better, and trudged home in silence, his wheelbarrow still full. Of course, Pa Simon was not born poor. In fact, his early years were filled with promise. Born into a modest family in a quiet village, he grew up learning the values of hard work and honesty from his father, a local farmer. Life was simple but comfortable, and Simon had dreams of one day becoming a successful trader like the wealthy men he admired in town. But fate had other plans. In his teenage years, Simon lost both parents to a mysterious illness that swept through the village. The small farm was left untended, and Simon, now the eldest, had to shoulder the responsibility of caring for his younger siblings. With no one to guide him and no money to keep the farm running, he sold what little they had and moved to the city in search of work. The city, however, was not kind to him. Jobs were scarce, and Simon found himself taking on manual labor just to survive, coupled with the demise of his wife to a terrible illness. Day by day, his savings dwindled, and he fell deeper into poverty. Soon, he was living in a run-down one-room apartment, constantly struggling to make ends meet. Yet, even in his lowest moments, Simon never lost his kind heart or his belief that one day his fortunes would change. In order not to continue wallowing in poverty, Pa Simon visited a witch doctor who promised to make him rich without harming anyone. The witch doctor instructed him to build a public toilet and gave him a baby snake to place in the soakaway pit. The snake, the witch doctor said, will feed on the waste, and as it grows fatter, you will grow richer. At first, Pa Simon had doubted the plan, but the witch doctor convinced him to make his toilet better than the rest, cleaner, cheaper, and more appealing. That's why he worked so hard to make his toilet stand out, and why he never allowed his own community members to use it. I didn't want to be like a chicken eating its own eggs, he admitted. When Pa Simon finished his confession, the crowd was stunned. Some stayed in disbelief, while others whispered nervously. Then one bold youth shouted, "Ha! I once took my girlfriend to that toilet." The crowd burst into nervous laughter. But before anyone could say any more, Pa Simon coughed violently. His face turned pale and he collapsed. By the time everyone reached him, he was gone. The market moved on, the railway was built, and the story of Pa Simon became one of the city's strangest tales, a tale of ambition, secret, and the price of wealth.